Hello, your teacher told me that we are going to be researching the United States and World War II. This is a fascinating era to research, and I'm excited to work with y'all and discover all the things that we can figure out. What we're going to do today is learn how to use two different databases to do two different things. First, we're going to learn just kind of how to browse and narrow down so that we can narrow down our topic, and then we're obviously going to narrow down and pick a particular topic to do our research for. Now, before we start exploring databases, the first thing we need to do is figure out what is a database. A lot of people seem to think databases are only for computers because their main function is to store information. They store information in a logical fashion so that we can retrieve that information quickly and easily. I know a lot of people think that they never use a database, but I bet you have. In fact, how many of y'all have used Netflix, Hulu, or even Amazon Prime to watch movies or TV shows? Well, Netflix is a database. What they do is they store all the TV shows and movies that they offer, and they let us search through it. Now, I can just search and browse through here and try to find a show that I'm looking for, say a baking show. I like those baking reality TV shows. So let's say that's what I'm looking for. I can scroll and scroll and scroll until I happen to find one. But Netflix has added these search bars, much like we're going to explore with our two databases today, that let me narrow it down. So I know I'm looking for a reality show, a TV show, so I can click TV show. And here again, it's trending. I have, because I watched this show, what's popular, or I can narrow it down even more. And since I know that I'm looking for a reality show, I can click reality show. And here again, now I can keep going. I have reality shows about food. I have reality shows that are trending. And so I would be able to pick the one that I am looking for. So I don't want you to be intimidated by, oh, we're going to be using databases to research, because they're just like Netflix. They're something that you've already used and will be easy for us to figure out. Okay, so the two databases that we're going to use today are going to be Destiny database along with a TextQuest Gale database. So let's first go into Destiny. We're going to have to log in and click on catalog here. And over here you see that there's a couple different types. We're going to look at the first two. We're going to look at the basic and the power. Now the basic one is pretty basic. You have a keyword search, a title search, and you can pick what type of material that you are interested in researching. And what you do is you type in what you want to look. And it's a good way to do a browsing, like just a general search if you're not quite sure what you want to search. So we're going to do a keyword search here, and we're going to type in World War II. And notice I spelled out World War II. That's going to be important in a minute, and I'll point that out in just a second. So if I do a keyword search, it gives me 31 results. And I had scrolled through, and I see most of these are books. And then I can also look over here, and there are websites. So I could explore through the websites. There is the one search, which has a biography, and it's searching for more online biography. And then if there's any digital resources, which there isn't for this one in particular, it would show them there. Okay. And so you noticed here I had 31 results doing a keyword search. So I can also go back to the search, and I could type in World War II again. Here it is. But this time I can do a title search. Now the title search is going to make sure that there is World War II in the title of the book. So if the book isn't called necessarily something to do with World War II like these are, it won't necessarily show up. Now, I did tell you to make sure that you're watching how you're spelling it, because look what happens when I put in the Roman numeral 2 instead of spelling the word out. And I'm going to do a keyword search. Oops. Sorry about that. Do a keyword search. And notice now I have 100 results compared to the 21 results I had before. So if you're not finding what you're looking for, you might want to check your spelling and try to spell it in an alternative way and see if you can get more for what you're looking for. So again, we have the websites, we have the digital, and we have the OneSearch that you can look through. So what we can do is kind of just browse through and see if there's anything that stands out to you. And if there is, then you can, click on it and maybe look for more. Like here, women on the home front to me was an interest. So I could look up these. I could look up World War women, World War II, United States. And this is basically going to give me information about women on the home front. Okay. So the second search option that I mentioned, let's go back to library search, was the power. And you notice here they have a different setup. These are going to let us use our Boolean operators, and we have some information on your handout, and I'll discuss them more in a little bit. But here we can narrow it down to where I'm looking for women and or not and different things. So let's look up women and the United States, and I can search that. And so here I have 60 results, but I missed a keyword and I didn't look for World War II. So you'd have to make sure you put all of them in. So let's put in World War II also, and I'm going to use the Roman numerals. Remember, watch which one you're using. And there, it gives me to the one book. And it also gives me the websites again, probably the same ones that we had the first time. Okay. So I could, click on these, look through it, and maybe find an individual that I want to research or not. It's up to you. Okay. And so, oops, go back to that. Now, what would happen if I just put the United States and World War II? Again, it would give you a lot more results because they have more books, it looks like, without just narrowing it down to women. So this would be good for browsing, and once you figure out, what you want exactly, then you can dig in a little deeper to explore those a little further. All right, so now we're going to move over to the Gale, and we're going to have to log in, just like we did with Destiny. And you notice immediately this one's a little bit different. It's set up with pictures right here, and these are broken down into browsing topics almost. We know what we're looking for, but if you weren't sure what you wanted to research, this would be a good way to start because you could kind of glance through the different topics and pick, what you wanted to look up. Well, we know we want history because we're researching World War II. So we're going to go ahead and come in here. And again, in here, you can search by decade, you can search by people, by events, whatever you would like. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and there's a whole bunch. So it's really a good way to browse and kind of get an idea on what you're looking for. I'm going to click on World War II. And so now I'm here at the splash page pretty much for World War II. And you notice they have a little snippet here about World War II in general. And if we click read more, it does give us more about World War II. Okay, so let's go back. Over here on the right hand side, they show you the different types of materials that we have available to us, which will come in very handy. So if you're looking for a video or a picture or a primary source, it kind of narrows, it tells you how many of each you have here. We'll come back to related topics. And if you come further down, it shows you more of them. So you can see, like in reference, there's 155, but here are some in particular that you could click on and look at. The images and videos. And then down here, it also has related topics that you could scroll through. So if you wanted to scroll through there and find things that are related to World War II to help you narrow down your topic, you would be welcome to do so. And that is also right here that you could click. So let's come back to the top, and we have the search bar. So we're going to look at the search bar, and notice we could do just a basic search, or they have the advanced search, which, much like Destiny, you're able to use the Boolean operators. We have and, or not. Again, look at your handout, and we'll go into that in a little bit. And over here, you could put keyword. They have document title, author, if you know the author, subject, a person, if you're looking for a particular person, and so forth. So I'm going to change these all to keywords, and I'm going to look up women in the United States. And oops, you know, it also offers you ones if you want to pick pre-selected ones. They kind of guess like Google does. World War II. Again, I'm going with Roman numeral, but remember, you could spell it out. And here it's going to show the same thing. It shows you references, videos, you know, magazines, news articles. Not quite as much as I was looking for, so I'm going to change this back to United States and not let them put their search in. And see, even that, now I have a lot more research. So if you're not getting what you want, remember to tweak your research words that you're using to help you find what you need. Okay. So I'm going to continue searching in here, and I'm just going to click on images and look at the images because I like to look at the pictures. And I'm going to click on Caroline Newsom. She's an it says aerial acrobatics pilot. And over here, notice our box over here is changed to where we have document images and related subjects. We still get the little snippet. But if I click related subjects here, I have now two options for this picture. I could click the United States Army, Air Force, Women's Auxiliary, Ferrying Squadron, or Women's Aircraft Pilots. So I'm going to click on this one, and it just takes me to two articles. But let's click on women during World War II because that is what I wanted to research. So now I'm clicking that, and again I have the article that I can read here. If we scroll to the bottom, we have a good resource list. They have books, a historical site, videotapes, sound recordings. Some of them will have news articles or primary sources that you can look through. And again, we can narrow this again or expand if we go over here to related subjects. They have a bunch of different related subjects here that I could always click on to further my search if I'm not finding quite what I want, or if I just want to expand it a little bit more. So you have those two databases that we can explore. They're kind of set up differently. This one is good for browsing and for narrowing it down. Destiny will be good for showing you some websites and for books that we have in the library. So, you know, you might want to use a combination of the two when you're doing your research. So now that we kind of have a quick brief view on how to use the research databases, we're going to talk about how to use the search techniques, different search techniques that we have available to us.